I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We'd like to welcome to the show Kazimir Manalo. Hi.
Hi there.
How you doing?
I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello. Je m'appelle Kazimir Manalo. I'm Kazimir Manalo. I'm a punk rocker VTuber. That is, do you want to know something funny? The last name there, that's the Filipino word for, how you say, to win. But every time I do some streaming, there's always a disastrous failure.
Well, I mean,
let's just say that I end up crashing out quite a lot on stream.
Well, it's sometimes hard to live up to your name sometimes.
Yeah, it was not the greatest choice to have win in the name. That's for sure.
Well, you know, it gives you a goal.
It gives me a goal on what I want to happen.
Yes.
It's definitely not guaranteed to happen, though.
So
no guarantees.
So punk rock, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
punk rock.
So what are some of the bands you like to listen to?
So the bands?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I generally started off with the Sex Pistols.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually given for a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm not really much into the newer type of punk scene. More or less that I'm just like, like the classical style of punk.
Yeah. Well, it's
More,
kind of since the beginning, it's kind of branched off into a lot of different things, hasn't it? It's tough to.
Yeah.
But
like some things, obviously they're never gonna stay the same.
Right.
But I don't know. I've always been one for the classics, more or less.
Oh yeah. I remember when the Sex Pistols first came out and started making a name for themselves in the United States. Of course, in Great Britain, it was for a long time they were there, and it really caught a lot of people off guard when it happened. The music scene had been very, very much pop and disco type stuff at the time, and you couldn't get anything less pop and disco than the Sex Pistols.
Yeah. I still find it funny that they did their tour, the U.S. tour, in the South more or less than in the actual,
Oh yeah,
city parts of the U.S.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, why did they pick the South? Why did they pick conservative South out of all places? They just definitely gonna be confusing one for sure.
Oh yeah, and that tour, first time they come through, it was so raucous, and people hadn't seen anything like it at all. And the reaction for folks around here was either, what in the world is this? I don't want anything to do with it, or, yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, people unfortunately went way too,
too
up in the air in terms of this, total hell.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they were kind of
too long
as far as personalities in the band go. Sid was kind of headed there himself. Before,
I mean, it was all generally Nancy's problem.
Yeah, it was.
I still can't believe that.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot worse if John Lydon himself was the one that actually went for Nancy.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing that after all these years, and it has been a lot since it got started, that John Lydon was kind of the straight guy.
Yeah, straight guy. The one that's actually loyal to his own wife.
Yeah, and didn't, maybe he indulged some back then, but he's actually made it through alive at this point.
Made it through alive, despite being the general,
Yeah.
The main singer of the band, which is generally a death sentence half the time.
Oh yeah, and he's his attitude is the way he attached himself to the music industry that then, and and just the way he presented himself, and I would have thought at the time, oh wow, he's not going to be around in the 21st century, and oh, nope, still here.
Still here, still kicking.
Yeah, still hear it. And actually, I was back then. I was more of a um, an '80s music guy, new wave type. I appreciated punk for the most part, and I listened to a lot of it. Um, but it was certainly a lot more fun to listen to than oh disco. Dis-
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean, there was just literally just way too much of it.
yeah, it was so everything was beat beat beat. But this you brought them in, and of course the U.S. had the Ramones, which kind of started it in that general direction. And then you go to the Dead Kennedys, and then you really get into it. That point.
Yeah, then it really goes up to hell, and you're gonna be like, oh,
Yeah,
when are they gonna ban? When are they gonna start banning this?
yeah, and then the lead Jello Biafra is still going on. I mean, and it's crazy that some of the seminal singers of these groups are still out there kicking. When you think that they'd be the first ones to crash and burn, they weren't. Um, but there's really not much these days that can keep up with those days. I don't know whether it was just the attitude, whether it was how we how the society was back then, but it's kind of hard to shock people like punk rock did back then.
Yeah. I mean, you just end up seeing drastic extremes
Yeah.
just on TikTok alone, and I don't even use TikTok. I refuse to use it at all costs. It's just just seeing the occasional YouTube documentary or YouTube the blah blah blah
Yeah.
on whatever the hell is happening over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I never used it.
Oh well, we had a at our high school growing up at that time. We had days where it was spirit days where people would come dressed as different things depending on what the day was. And one of the days was punk rock day. And it was very easy to tell that none of the people in the school had any idea what punk rock was about. They come in dressed like people from the Happy Days television series. I mean, like, no, that's not it.
I gotta look that up.
Oh,
Happy Days.
It was basically
let me guess. They dressed like they were in the '90s time. I mean, no, not the '90s.
The 50s.
What 50s. So
Yeah.
they look like greasers than punk rockers.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was ridiculous, and I'm like, you people don't know. So my friends and I, who actually were listening to it, we came in dressed in the best clothes we possibly had. And the teachers were like, "Oh, you look nice today, Mr. Lloyd." Blah 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 blah. And then people look at us. This is punk rock day. I said, "That's not what punk rock is about. Punk rock is about not doing what you're supposed to do."
Yeah, you gotta have the pins. You gotta have all the pins. You gotta have some earrings or something like that.
Yeah, or just whatever the society is doing, you don't do it. You do your own thing, and you're basically doing exactly what they want. That's about as non-punk as he gets. That's about as punk
I
rock
mean,
as Olivia Newton-John.
that's probably why I end up just playing some of the most obscure games that literally are like almost dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Or basically doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's an attitude, isn't it? It's a whole. If you're really into it and you really enjoy it, you know what it is when you see it and you hear it. And if you'd missed out on the whole thing and you don't really know what it's about, you miss out completely, and it's very tough to get involved in it.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So when did you
You just gotta feel it in your bones.
Oh, absolutely. So when did you get started with streaming?
Started streaming?
Yeah.
Well, I started it when I actually started. What was it? Quite a long time ago, but it was like a pretty short one.
Mm-hmm.
Where in middle school or something. I think it was middle school. where for some reason I just made a Twitch account, a throwaway one kind of deal,
Mm.
streamed TF2, and it was just a surprisingly funny one where for some reason people were actually finding me and then just um going along with my no my absolute my nonsense after they somehow managed to find the server I'm on and stream sniping me.
Oh
But
no.
not to kill me. No,
Yeah.
no, they were tagging along with whatever stuff was happening.
They weren't trying to mess you up. They're just kind of they were
Nah,
there.
they were just there for they were there to add along to the fun type of deal.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Though that one was pretty short and I didn't do it at all for the longest time
Yeah.
until what was it? 2021.
Mm.
Like a few months after the the canola oil virus.
Yes, that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
canola oil. Yeah. Anyway, um how you say I just was watching VTubers for the first time when I started getting recommended it because that was when it was like blowing up like late 2020s
yeah.
because everybody's at home. I was already watching anime at the time, so I'm like, okay, I might as well watch this.
Yeah.
And it kind of just spiraled from there.
Yeah.
Then, despite me having literally no art experience drawing that type of deal, I just made my own PNG model.
Yep. And
Though it was actually stupidly high in the resolution. Because I don't even know. I think it was like I think it was like a practically 8K model. Because I just had the resolution just so high. Despite me definitely not needing to put it that high.
well,
So,
yeah. Sometimes you just walk in and take a shot at it, and it turns out what you want in the first place.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that went on for like a good bit.
Yeah.
2020. And then for, 2021 to, I think just about late or mid 2022, then I just stopped it.
Mm.
And then had to deal with like, work and
Yeah.
stuff like that for a while. Had to really sort myself out after, learning the hard way, the
Mm.
real hard way on a lot of things about video creation. Or no, not video creation. Video No, streaming. That's what I
Yeah.
meant to say.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
English is not my first language.
Nope. No
No.
problem. No problem. It is mine, which
Yeah.
is kind of sad when you actually hear me talk.
No, don't worry about it, okay? English is always hard, no matter what. That's
Yeah.
literally what I keep noticing all the time for everybody.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So even those who are professional at it, or,
Yeah.
specialize in it, are always going to mess it up.
Oh yes. Yes.
It's just too linguistically confusing.
And, and
Confusion.
and we don't have enough words. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's loan words too anyway.
yeah, and it's for those who do know different languages. I'm very jealous because you've got now two or more languages that you can draw from to describe things. Well, I just have English, and it's not some things. It's not
The
enough.
only problem is that you gotta also bet on the fact that someone also speaks said language or at least knows le terms.
Mm,
Why am I saying le?
yeah,
No.
the terms. Even then, you just educate people. I,
You do
I
what you can.
yeah, I
Or
get
just hope that like, you know enough of their culture and their language to just say it just straight up how it is there.
right, right, right.
Just using exactly the same word.
Mm,
No
yeah.
English translation or nothing.
Well, when you get to English words that sound the same but mean different things, that always messes people up. It messes people up
Most definitely.
who are born in English countries. It messes people up all the time, and for people trying to learn it who it's not their first language, it I can't imagine how rough that is. It's kind of a lazy language sometimes, and being
It definitely is. I gotta agree on that. Considering what was it? I was born in the Philippines. Not even not Canada actually,
Hmm.
but I've spent most of my life in Canada. That I'm basically Canadian as you can be. But
Tim Hortons.
English there is terrible to
Yeah,
say the least,
yeah,
in
yeah.
my experience.
Well, in some places you don't speak so much English as French. So
Well, yeah, but like it is. They do speak English, but it's just not the greatest to say
yeah,
the least.
yeah,
Even they gotta agree it's not the greatest, considering
yeah.
they also have a hard time speaking with native English speakers.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, we in the U.S. we can usually tell pretty quick if somebody's from Canada.
Oh,
Yeah,
you sure about that?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
I mean, we sound generally the same.
Yeah, there's
Uh, I
there,
could literally just be mistaken for someone with a general enough U.S. accent.
yes. Well, your voice is
Maybe like
amazing.
maybe Ohio.
Your voice is amazing. I mean, really, it is. It's got an incredible
Thank
bass
you.
to it. Have you used it before in like voice acting work and such?
I am currently involved with the voice acting project. I have a practice literally later today.
Oh, cool.
Um, I have two roles currently in this voice acting project. That have you interviewed Empress Rogue before? I'm not
Oh
sure if
yes,
you remember.
absolutely. Yes,
Hmm?
I've talked to Rogue a couple of times. One in an interview and one about an unfortunate thing that happened with her some time ago. But yes,
That's
I've interviewed Rogue a couple times.
Yeah, I auditioned for her current like Villains Are Destined to Die thing, and
Mm.
then I ended up getting what was it? I didn't end up getting the initial role that I was going for, which was Reynolds, which was the second male main.
Hmm.
Actually, I'm not sure if they're the second main male character. They're just like an important part of the story type of deal.
Right, right.
But like if I was in earlier, I would have definitely ended up getting as she said, Winter, one of the other main characters,
Mm.
or um actually I probably shouldn't talk about the other project because it's not fully set in stone yet.
Yeah,
So,
it's more to come.
but
We'll put it
yeah,
as a
more to
it's a
come.
cliffhanger.
More to come for now. But I was really surprised to end up seeing when the cast thing was released that I had two roles later on in the story because
Yeah,
we actually just finished our first episode. When was it? Last Thursday, I think.
yeah,
Thursday, yeah. The
yeah.
first episode of the live reading.
Oh, cool. It's so. When you and Rogan and the folks are working on it together, do you do it all together at once, or do you do your parts separately and have it put together?
How we're doing it right now. Some are doing it recording because they either don't have time or they have issues with their things.
Mm.
And for the rest of us, we just do it live,
Yeah.
straight up live as can be.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Yeah,
Like obviously we're not flying there; we're just doing it
yeah,
on a Discord. But
which is amazing, really, isn't it? I mean, everybody all over the planet can contribute to something like this without having to live near a major media hub like Los Angeles or New York or anything like that, or any of the any of the ones in or, Tokyo or Manila or anything like that. You can be sitting at home if you have a good setup and you can give them a good quality recording and that they can
yeah,
use. Uh,
I
it's
mean, the amount of stuff I spent on just the microphone and the audio interface
mm.
is kind of pricey, to say the least.
Well,
Like the microphone alone was pricey as fuck.
and it's worth it for you because of the timbre of your voice. Um, my voice is higher, and I don't need the bass as much as you do. So I don't need the super tech microphone because my voice is plain as can be. but your voice has a different set of frequencies it goes through, and you need a quality microphone that reflects that better than say something that I would ever need. Um,
Yeah.
and
I
and
mean,
it makes a lot of difference.
not definitely does because the last microphone I had was already really good anyway,
Mm,
an AT 2020,
yes.
but I decided to upgrade to an AT 4040.
Mm, yeah. It does make a difference for those who are you're working in voice acting and are doing character voices or have voices that are higher or lower in range. Yeah, go out and get a microphone that is a little more pricey and a little more complex. For those of us who are just going to yap or or aren't using having to use a lot of gymnastics for vocal gymnastics to get characters' voices across. We don't really need anything that bad, that much to use.
Definitely not.
And but singers and voice actors definitely get the product that'll help you out with that. Um, I'm still side thing with that, but so how did Rogue get a hold of you, or did you get a hold of Rogue, or
Oh, I saw it on the EN VTubers thing that
yeah,
they were not scouting. They were looking for auditions, like
mm,
people to audition.
yeah,
So I'm like, okay, you know what? Screw it. Let's give it a try.
yeah,
We don't have no portfolio. We don't have any. Don't we do have prior voice acting experience, but it's on a different account, so it's not applicable in this one anymore.
yeah,
Because I want to start fully fresh,
yeah, yeah. It's
and we don't have the most experience. Though though we have literally, what was it? After I did get in,
mm,
I started this whole new series with someone with this girl called Coffee Demon, where
mm,
we are currently playing a visual novel where we have to voice on her side. She has to voice 8 characters. I have to voice 9.
whoa,
Yeah, so we basically just split the female and male characters between us so that we can get all of the voices, so we can
oh,
maximize and practice type of deal,
so you
accents and all,
you you're
inflections and whatnot.
you're putting yourself through the voice Olympics is what you're doing.
Yeah, our last stream um was 5 hours and 20 minutes long. So we were there for a long while. Our first one was already 4 hours and 40 minutes. So it was also pretty bad in terms of just how long we were doing it for.
Oh, by the end, you're the voice you're doing. It sounds like
Oh, you want to know the best part?
what?
The last stream that happened was literally a day before the first episode of the voice acting thing with Rogue and all.
Oh my gosh.
So I still ended up sounding just fine, just perfectly fine. So at least I mastered not straining my voice
Yes,
enough to be able to go on another day.
yeah. Oh, that's painful. When if you're, 'cause I was in.
I was surprised how little pain I felt on it.
Oh, I did the radio thing for 35 years, and there were just situations where I would have to do a long, long shift, or a couple of sport events where I was doing the play-by-play for it, and I had to put my vocal cords through some stress, some real stressful times, and then have to come back the next day and do a shift and not sound like I'd swallowed a bunch of nails the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and then
Uh,
and another thing too, you have to watch out for every little bit of illness you get. Um,
most definitely.
if you get a cold, it sounds weird. If you get if you just have a day where that the throat doesn't sound particularly great, you have to try everything you can to get it back to normal. Um, that's a that's some work, but doing this, I mean, you sound like you've really gotten into it. I mean, if you're doing that practice where you're doing 9 voices to get yourself settled up, Sounds like you're gonna make a serious run at
I mean, I intend to take it seriously. I'm not there to half-ass it, to say the
it.
least.
No, and you should. That's a tremendous instrument you've got there, and if you can, if you're able to control and play it well, and good for us because we get a chance to hear the talent.
Yeah.
And
I
when,
mean, I'm also just trying to find other people who are willing to do the same thing.
yeah,
Because I was fortunate when I asked Coffee, because I'm like, dude, would this person be interested in type of deal? Because we only met on that one collab
hmm
where we actually didn't even talk that much to each other. So I'm like, okay, she's messaging me a lot more than anyone else. Actually,
yeah,
the only one that was messaging me after that stream days later. So I'm
yeah,
like, okay, let's give her let's ask her. Give her a shot on, like, seeing if she's willing to do this. Bam,
yeah.
yes. So
Excellent, excellent. That's a great story that to have that together. And when do you guys do this or do you have a regular time and day that you do this
we do
stream?
not have a schedule.
Yeah,
Not at all. I mean, the first and second ones basically just happened a day apart from each other.
yeah,
So, but the last one happened only. So the first one was 12 days ago.
yeah,
Second one 11 days,
yeah,
and the current one what happened only 3 days ago.
yeah, yeah. So how
We kind of got delayed a bit
yeah,
last week.
yeah. Well, it's tough. It's tough with any type of collaboration thing, whether you're having somebody on as someone that drops in a little bit or anything to get the time zones correct and get the and because you never know what's going to happen on somebody's end.
Yeah,
They could get a flat tire or they could suddenly get sick or anything. So you have to be pretty flexible with that. But
it's
I
definitely dicey
yeah
for sure. Because the first one I did a solo collab with was one of my fellow group members
mm,
from my VTuber group of V1 that I'm in.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've interviewed a couple of them before.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I have. I've talked to some folks from B1. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Um. No, go ahead.
no. Go. Who was the one you collaborated with?
Yogurt.
Mm, okay, yeah, and that went pretty well.
It went pretty well, to say the least. Let's just say that it was definitely interesting having to go about it with the time zone thing, because literally all of them are almost all entirely in Europe.
Yeah,
Mostly entirely in the UK.
yeah, yeah. It gets to be interesting. I'm pretty lucky where I'm at in the central time zone of the U.S. Because for a lot of folks in Europe, I can go on at noon and it's just dinner time for them, or
Yeah,
I can go on at midnight and it's dinner time for folks in the Philippines and Australia and Malaysia and Indonesia. So I can and I in between I go to work. So I'm lucky enough to have that kind of setup where it's easy to base. Now there are a few people where I need to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but that's a different story.
yeah. Those are the ones that are yikers. I'm pretty sure that's mostly with the Australian ones,
Yeah,
right?
some of the Australian ones are they've got some odd time zones down there. One of them goes a half hour off the next time zone, which I don't even understand how that works.
Uh, Time's very confusing on Earth.
Oh, it
I mean, it's definitely weird because here in the West Coast,
yeah.
I'm technically not too far away from Australia wise, but like it's literally just complete opposite time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you've got
So basically, time doesn't mean shit over there.
oh yeah. And then if you go far enough, you've got the times the date line if you that really messes you up. Um I talked to somebody in Hawaii and Hawaii's
Yeah.
got their own time zone thing, and they gave me. I said, "Well, what time is it now over there?" And they gave me a time. I said, "Well, you're like 18 hours ahead of me." He goes, "No, we're 6 hours behind you." Oh well, that's different.
Definitely confusing to say the least.
Oh, absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
what was it? I'm just looking at the time zone map right now.
Hmm.
Despite Britain basically being on the same, latitude as France and Spain, they have their own different time zone.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't get it.
yeah.
They're literally above each other, above France and Spain, different time zone though.
Oh yeah,
I don't get it.
yeah, yeah. Well, I live in Illinois, which is right next to the Eastern Time Zone. So literally, if I drive 6 miles east of where I'm at, the hour changes. It goes ahead an hour, and
Yeah,
it really kind of messes up family events.
no doubt. I
Yeah,
mean, the U.S. is just so damn big. At
yeah.
least y'all have the highways. Over
Mm.
here, we actually can't drive in the same way as y'all can.
Oh no.
Like it is actually really hard to drive
Yeah,
in Canada. Like over province border wise,
yeah.
mainly just because of the fact that while the U.S. is a lot more populated with in between towns type of deal,
Hmm.
we kind of have to stretch out the entire travel area
Oh.
highway wise over just the few towns and yada yada
Hmm.
over an entire country that's basically just only 40 million people.
Oh, but that big giant Trans Canada road that you got there, the highway, uh, that would be a heck of a drive.
It would be, but
Yeah.
you would also have to get a car that's pretty fuel efficient,
Yes.
to say the least. You
When you,
you would definitely not want to be trucking. I mean, not trucking. People do that all the time. Uh, riding the entire thing motorcycle wise, no
yeah,
matter how fun that would actually sound,
yeah.
but it would definitely not be advisable.
Going going through the hinterlands, gas stations are few and far between sometimes up there.
Most definitely. That's why we live. Most of us literally live right next to the U.S. border, just so that we can have y'all do all the trucking for us. That's literally how it works. We're just a lot of the truckers just go through the U.S.
Oh,
Highways,
oh
just
yeah.
so we don't have to use ours.
Your roads are very pristine. Nobody uses them.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, when I look at the roads over here, it looks almost the exact
Mm.
same as the U.S. We have the exact same.
Well,
Unless you're in Quebec.
yeah,
Quebec. Then they have all the European stuff, the
yeah,
European architecture and road styles, but the rest of Canada looks exactly the same as the US.
yeah. I,
Parking lots and all.
yep, yep, yep. Except for the little bit of mandatory French signage that comes up every once in a while
Yeah,
for
we,
things.
we literally have everything in bilingual.
Yeah,
Not a single thing is not that. You cannot not have it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm I'm kind of upset in a way because I found out fairly recently that some of my family, in fact, a good deal of my family, came through Quebec, French Canada, New
I
France at the
mean,
time.
that's not surprising considering Illinois, like,
Yeah.
territory wise, was actually in the reach of New Quebec.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we actually had a our one of the names in the back is Levesque, which was Americanized, but and fought on the War of 1812 on the Canadian side.
Hmm.
Then I'm like, I would really like to go up and see some of the areas that my ancestors were in, but I don't know any of the language whatsoever, and it just bothers me. Um,
That means your family were Acadians.
mm, they were one of the folks came over with as a king's daughter.
King's daughter?
Hmm.
What? You mean they were a part of the what was it? What
Yeah,
was it called again?
yeah,
Bourbon?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where they came over to basically young single women came over, were brought over from France to help grow the population of New France at the time, and
Yikes! They
and
didn't even work. They had the smallest population in North America.
yeah, but they were all men. you,
Yeah.
you can't populate it with just the men. So um, some of them, there's actually a city up there, and I forget the name of it, that has a monument to one of my ancestors.
Hmm?
That
Which
that
one? In
I
Quebec?
In Quebec, yeah, and I don't remember the name off the top of my
Somewhere
head.
in Montreal,
Yeah.
somewhere like that.
Somewhere up the river a little bit. Um,
St. Lawrence River.
yeah,
Okay.
and it's I really want to go see that just to a little bit of my heritage that I didn't know anything about before. Um, so it's funny now that I get to this age and really want to go find all this stuff going on. Uh, for you and streaming, it sounds like you're having a lot of fun with it. Um, has it been everything you wanted it to be when you got started?
I mean, I've done this like multiple times, like restarted, unstarted type of deal.
Yeah.
Um, I did most of it entirely on YouTube for the longest time
Right.
when I was, and this is my first time going fully into Twitch entirely,
Yeah.
and it was been drastically more successful than I've ever thought it would be
Yeah.
because what was it? It took me only till 1.5, 1.5 months to reach affiliate already. And I don't even have all of the followers required to have it. They're like, okay, guy's dedicated, guy's getting a lot more viewers than his
Yeah.
numbers would normally suggest he would normally get on average.
Right.
And and the last stream I did right before that was a 7 hour one, which is the only one I've done 7 hours on so far on this one. So that was the longest one yet.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, let's just get him in.
Yeah.
Bam,
And oh,
bam. The next day I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck? I got an affiliate email. This is not right.
gotta go check it out to make sure somebody's not pranking you.
Yeah, making sure it's not a prank, not a scam or nothing. No, it was definitely Twitch, Twitch and all.
Yeah. It must have really once you realized that it was in fact uh, true. Did that kind of spur you on to do even more?
Most definitely. Yeah, that's why I was like going all in on all sorts of stuff
Hmm.
because I'm like, okay, now there is actually an opportunity here to, grow and finally do the things I've wanted to do because I'm not gonna lie to you, I blew a lot of money just preparing for the preparing and like doing the commissions and stuff because I
Right.
unfortunately don't have all the time
Right.
to do the
All the
art as I
background and
used
stuff.
to.
Yeah.
Not that I just don't have the expertise either.
Yeah.
So it's best to just let the ones who know how to do it
That's right.
do it themselves.
That's a,
And and now that I'm in like a good enough state wise, like like it's a lot more comfortable.
mm,
I'm just like, okay, now that I am ready to do this, I'm gonna try art again.
mm.
But the way I'm going about it is definitely insanity when I explain when I tell you it.
Yeah. So
So
what's the Casimir way to do this?
so I start. Hmm, even though I don't even do this, like I haven't done it in a long time, and not to this scale,
Mm.
I'm immediately starting off my first actual proper art project wise for singing my own cover
Mm.
and drawing the animation for it. Like not even anything slow, not even just like, like, hey, cover art, bam, that's it. Because I was like, that's too easy. I can do that. We're just gonna recreate and even like, change up the animation of the cover art that we're doing.
Oh wow.
Recreate. We're cute in our own way.
So you're not going you're not half-assing into this either, are you?
And no, it looks almost exactly. Well, no, the current parts I have it at right now look pretty close to how it is
Hmm.
in the original,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna be changing it drastically later on,
Mm.
or gonna be changing the next one that I'm working on to be looking more different, so people are hooked in. Because like, okay, so this is gonna be so when they first see it, they're like, okay, so he's drawn it exactly like how it is in the video,
Yeah.
and then when the first change happens, they're like, oh, something brand new.
Yeah. Whoa, wait a second here.
Then it's
Uh, uh,
changing what they thought was gonna happen.
it's like the
Subversion of expectations.
the old movie Toto. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, not
So
in Kansas, okay? We in Texas now.
that's right. That's right. Oh, it's an absolute pleasure talking with you, and it's obvious that you're enjoying yourself with it, and you're looking now that you're you've got everything set up. Your ducks are in a row. You're getting some great voice acting stuff done. I want to see what goes on in the future with you. I think you got a big future coming up with this stuff.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I can only try.
Yeah, well, I think you're succeeding, and it's gonna be fun to see everything in the future. If you got if you're talking to Rogue tonight, tell him I said hi.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll let her know.
yeah, that's it. I enjoyed talking with Rogue back then. But folks, check out everything that Casimir's got going on. We'll have his links up in the description for the interview, and we need to have you back on here in a few months to catch up with you. Please keep in touch.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.